Here's the scenario. You live in an old crawl space type foundation home. You've got some issues inside the home. Maybe it's stuck doors, maybe there's some cracks in the walls, maybe the floors are loose and bouncy, and you really know you need a little bit of work done. And the question that you're trying to answer is, can I DIY these crawl space repairs? Hey, it's Craig with Anchor Foundation Repair. We have been in Bryan College Station, Texas, fixing homes just like yours, working for homeowners just like you over the last 40 years. So the answer to the question, can you DIY your own crawl space repairs? The answer is absolutely yes. I have no doubt about that. Not even knowing you, I'm quite sure if you have some of these things I'm about to explain to you, then there's no doubt that you could do this on your own. The better question that you should be asking yourself though is, should I DIY my own crawl space repairs? In this video, I'm going to explain the elements that you need to help you make that decision for yourself. So what you need to do your own crawl space repair would be time, you need resources or equipment, you need expertise, and really most importantly, you need determination. Let me explain each one of those a little bit more. Number one, time. Do you have the time to devote to fixing your own crawl space? The average crawl space home that we do is, I'm not talking about just a little TLC, a 1 or 2 day job. And I'm certainly not talking about a rebuild where we cut out the entire floor structure and rebuild your foundation from ground up to the subfloor. I'm talking about the average job that we do here in Bryan College Station is gonna be 4 days for most crawl space homes. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, absolutely, I got 4 days. I mean, I got this weekend and I'll take a little bit of vacation time and I'll do it then, or maybe you'll split it over 2 weekends. So you got plenty of time, right? That's only 4 days. However, what you gotta think about, for us, the average time to do that is 4 days. Now, we have crews of 5 men and 6 men. So for easy math, we're just gonna say in this scenario, we have a 5-man crew on the average job in Bryan College Station. 5 guys working 8 hours a day is gonna be a 40-hour day. And if we were to do that over 4 days, that's 160 crew hours or total man hours that we put into the average job here in our area. So you shouldn't be asking yourself, do I have 4 days worth of time? The question is actually, do I have 160 hours? Or maybe you're gonna work really hard and go long. Do you have 16 days if you were working 10-hour days? Do you have 16 days to commit to this project? If the answer to that is no, then you should probably just stop here, go to the links below and give us a call. But if you think you do have the time to devote to that, maybe you got some help, family members nearby, you got some friends and neighbors who are willing to pitch in on this, then maybe the answer to that is yes. And let's get to the second thing that you need. Number 2 is, do you have the resources or the equipment to do the crawl space repairs on your own? Now, when we show up at a job, we've got a massive Ford F-350 crew truck. It's usually overloaded with tools and equipment that we need. Little shovels to get some dirt work done. We got little tiny levels so that we can make sure our concrete bases are going in level. We got pry bars, screw guns. We've got all the hydraulic bottle jacks to do the actual raising. We've got cribbing, we've got shoring, we've got all the parts and pieces in our truck in order to effectively and efficiently do the job. Now, you might not have access to all that. You can go to Harbor Freight, you can get some 12-ton bottle jacks. You can go to Home Depot, buy all the little tools and equipment you need. You can go to Lowe's, any big box store, and essentially get all the equipment that you need. But do you have that now? Maybe not. You would have to purchase those, or again, borrow them, loan them by some friends that are gonna help you do this job, or maybe you could rent some of them even. But essentially the question is, do you have enough tools and equipment to do the job? And before you start thinking, I just need a bottle jack or 2, right? No, typically we're gonna show up at a job with somewhere between 20 and 30. 20 and 30 is gonna cover, again, that average size home that we're doing an average amount of time, and we've got them spaced out throughout your entire crawl space. Now, you could get away with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but if you only have a handful of this equipment, what that's actually gonna do is increase the time that you have to put into it. Because as you raise your home a little bit, you're going to see some effects, but you're gonna have to move those jacks elsewhere to continue raising. So you're gonna have to temporarily shim your home, take those jacks out, move them to another area of your crawl space, reset it, and then start lifting again. So you really need a lot of equipment to do the job right versus doing it really slowly, taking an extra amount of time to get that done. The third thing that you need if you want to DIY your crawl space repairs would be experience. Now, you don't need a ton of experience. What we do is, it's not rocket science for sure. It just takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of hard work and some tight crawl space areas, some really dark, low to the ground crawl space areas. But you have to have expertise about knowing what you're doing in that crawl space down here and how it relates to what you're seeing up there in the living areas, the bedrooms, the kitchens, dining rooms, the living area of your home. It's not really just a 2D problem. You can't fix something down here and have an immediate effect over there without also thinking about it in adjacent rooms and adjacent areas and what the overall effect is going to be. Now, that's not a problem because you can figure this out on the job. What better home to experiment on than on your own, right? You wouldn't want to hurt somebody else's home or break somebody else's home. So try it on your own. I wouldn't think that you can do something catastrophic to your home if you're really paying attention to what's going on down below and up top. So you're gonna need some help. You're gonna need guys up top, or maybe a helper up top or a helper down low, so that you can correlate these things as they're happening real time for you and your home. So again, you're not gonna hurt your home. Things can be undone. So if you raise it too much and you cause some problems, well, you can lower it back down. Those problems might still exist. Maybe you crack the walls, maybe you crack some floors, maybe you throw off some trim, but those things can be undone if you're slow and deliberate and intentional with what you're doing there. The fourth thing, and ultimately the really most important thing that you need, is determination. Are you determined enough to start this job and see it through all the way to completion? Now I ask you that question as a homeowner myself. I've got projects around my home that I've started and some completed on time and on task. I've got many more projects that I haven't started because I'm a little bit unsure if I've got the skill set or the time to commit to it. And then I promise you, if you ask my wife, there are a good handful of projects around my home that I've started and I haven't finished them all the way out because something's happened. Life's gotten in the way, they've gotten complicated. I thought I had the time, I didn't actually have that time. I thought I had all the tools, but I didn't, so I'm taking trips down to Home Depot myself. All these things really add up to, can you start this project and can you finish it? Because the last thing that you would want to see is maybe you get started and you commit a full weekend to it and you make some good progress and you're feeling really good about things. And then you take a little bit of time off, life gets in the way, family stuff, school stuff, work stuff, whatever that may be for you, you take some time off and then weather shows up and weather gets nasty and it's always hot out. And do you want to do that when it's really hot? Or it starts raining, which is even worse. You get a wet crawl space and then you're kind of stuck waiting for it to dry out. Either way, you've done a little bit of work. Maybe you feel good about even the amount of work that you've done, but have you done everything that you needed to? Or are you feeling good about it, but ultimately the problem still exists and it's a frustrating process? Like I said, I've been there for sure. So with that being said, the most important thing you need is determination. What we're kind of fond of, I suppose, in the foundation repair industry of saying is you've got to have the brains to know where to lift and when to lift and how to lift, but you got to have the belly to actually do it. You got to have the guts, the determination to actually get the job done, to push through maybe a challenge, a friction point, knowing it's going to work out in the end and there might be a little bit of damage in that process, knowing that it might lead to a little bit more work that needs to be done because you identify it during that process. But that's really what you got to be aware of, let alone the stuff that you're going to see in your crawl space. So if you're claustrophobic, if you're arachnophobic, if you're scared of dark, damp, tight, nasty crawl spaces or areas with all sorts of critters and creepy crawlies and debris, if those things aren't on your list of things that you can tolerate, then again, we should probably just stop this video long ago. So ultimately, the question is not, can you do this on your own? The better question for you to be asking is, should you do it on your own? If the answer to that is yes, then by all means, I hope this video helped you confirm that in your own mind, and then you move forward, that you make some good progress on your own crawl space. If the answer to that is, I'm not quite sure, or oh, heck no, well then down below, we've got a link to our learning center. There are a ton of resources that we have put online to help you kind of manage this process on your own, to help you think about it in appropriate terms so you can make a good informed decision for you and your home. One other link that we're going to include below will take you to an article that we wrote about DIYing your own crawl space repairs. It's going to explain this in a little bit more detail, maybe explain some of the numbers too that you need to be keeping in the back of your mind as you figure out on your own if this is a great idea.